This is what I say to people that think this is all foolish. Watch the Apollo 11 post-flight press conference. Watch it. It's like a hostage video.
Mm-hmm.
It's three guys that look like they're completely full of shit. They look nervous. They're fumbling. It's interesting. There's a guy online who is he's a body language expert, and he watched it and gave his notes on it. He's like, these guys are clearly being deceptive. Like, they're being deceptive. They're being deceptive. They're uncomfortable. They don't like that they have to do this. The way Neil Armstrong is describing the flight is so fucking bizarre. And then he gives this speech 25 years later at the anniversary of the moon landing to all the brightest high school kids. And he says,
there are great ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
Yeah, like, what does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Why don't you just say, hey, I went to the moon.
Yeah, that's right.
I went to the moon, and you guys, one day you'll go to Mars, and we will colonize the galaxy, and thank you to you brave, brilliant young students for pushing ahead and carrying the torch that, we took to the moon on Apollo 11. Like, no.
Yep.
It's weird stuff, man. There's also Michael Collins in the press conference clearly says we couldn't see any stars. We couldn't see any stars.
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any.
Then in his own book, which I think he wrote in 1994, he talks about how magnificent the stars were.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, fuckface, you weren't even supposed to be on the moon. Okay? You were up there. They were on the moon. Like, did you forget? Like, what? I don't recall seeing any stars. Well, you're in the fucking thing. Did you remember the script? You're in the thing. You're not on the ground. The intersecting shadows, people like to try to dismiss them. They say, oh, well, it could be because of the topography, and it could also be more than one light source, and that's more likely. When you got a shadow going like this and a shadow going like that, well, we know we went to the moon, so let's come up with another explanation. Let's not assume we went to the moon, and let's look at that and say, is that the sun, or is that multiple light sources at close range? It seems like there's a hot spot. It seems like there's multiple light sources at close range. And then there's videos that clearly show some sort of a reflection of wires when they're bouncing around on the moon's surface. If you speed it up, it looks preposterous because it looks like they're just in slow-mo. There's videos that it looks like they're bouncing around on trampolines. The physics are not the same in Apollo 11 as they are on Apollo 15 and 16. All of a sudden, they can cover great distances. They're doing these weird, giant, long leaps that they weren't doing before. The whole thing's weird. It's
really
also
weird.
during a time where they were completely full of shit about everything.
You had 3 networks.
They lied about the Gulf of Tonkin incident that led us into Vietnam. They lied about who killed JFK. They lied about everything.
MK Ultra.
Everything. Charles Manson. Everything was bullshit. All of it was bullshit. Operation Northwoods. There was all these things that were going on at the same time. So it's like they were more than accustomed to lying. Why would they tell the truth and nothing but the truth about this one thing?
And the Gemini 15 photo, I think, as you pointed out, is verifiably fake.
Yes.
So we know that they did fake.
Explain what that photo was.
Do you want to explain it?
Well, it's Michael Collins, and it's Michael Collins purportedly doing a spacewalk. But really, it was a training mission where they had him strapped in these harnesses, and they just blacked out the background and pretended he was in space.
And we know that.
We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yes.
So we know they were lying. We also know, I don't know if you watched my episode with Bart, but Bart has this footage of where they're running images of the Apollo photographs through AI to detect whether or not they've been manipulated.
Play the clip, D27, where Putin was at this conference, the AI conference of 2 years ago in Moscow. They were allowed to play with this AI that's not available to the public, 10 AIs scrolled together, and it said the Apollo pictures were fake.
То есть почти все объекты на этом фото ей кажутся ненастоящими. В то же время вот фотография китайского лунохода у нее особенных вопросов не вызывает. А это то, что кажется не настоящим? Да, да, вот то, что красное.
Сетка гугловская, не наша. Так, чтобы не было предвзятости никакой. Удивительно.
So there will be no bias. It's surprising, but it does believe so.
Она смотрит по очень
The
много
neural network has
параметров,
analyzed a lot of
совпадение,
data, including light and dark
светотени и
contrast,
так
etc.
далее,
And then it believes the photo is synthetic.
I saw that. And
yeah.
Putin is looking at the video and he's like not surprised that checks out as fake.
My friend who was from Russia said that in high school they were teaching that the moon landing was a hoax.
No way.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. Now, I don't know if that was just one cool teacher that was like, bro, I saw this documentary.
Yeah.
Or if it was like standard that they would teach that the moon landing was bullshit.
Well, you have the Van Allen radiation belt, and Danny brings this up on his podcast where James Van Allen, who, it's named after, is saying that is 150 times what a normal human can take radiation-wise.
Right.
And once you're there, you get incinerated.
Also, they never even sent a chicken through that and had it come back alive.
And I think Werner von Braun's on record saying, like, this is impossible. Like, you can't do this.
Not only that, we'll say, oh, there's a hole over Antarctica and because it's a donut-shaped thing. Yeah, but that's not where you went through. If you follow the path. Also, all the telemetry data was destroyed, which is crazy. That's the exact telemetry, the distance between the module and the rocket and the Earth, and at every stage of the mission. All that's destroyed. The original footage is destroyed. We have copies. Well, it's all we have is copies. So you can't tell, like, oh, this is clearly manipulated. This is they monkeyed around with these images. So it's like there's so much of it that leads you to think that it's a hoax. And then there's also the big one. The big one is, name one other thing from 1969 that's not cheaper, easier, and faster to reproduce today.
That's right.
One, moon travel, space travel. That's the only one.
It's the only one. Yeah.
It's the only one.
Yeah. Well, and what's crazy is if you look at Starship, which is 5,000 metric tons, so it's 2 times the size of the Saturn V rocket, it has to go to low Earth orbit. It burns up 9/10 of its fuel tank just to get there. And then another one has to go up, do butt-to-butt refueling with it. You have to do that 10 times before you get a full Starship, and then that thing will go to the moon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.